Once there was a quiet child named Alex, who, like many students, found school to be a world of both wonder and worry. Alex loved to read stories and make sketches in the margins of notebooks, but when it came to math tests, a knot would twist deep in their stomach. No matter how hard Alex tried, the answers would scramble in their mind when it was time to write them down. Each test day felt like a mountain to climb. One chilly morning, Alex's class received their graded math tests. The classroom, buzzing moments before, turned heavy and silent as papers were handed out. When Alex saw a bold red 58% written atop their page, their heart sank. The numbers seemed to glare up, heavy with disappointment. All around, classmates compared scores and celebrated. But Alex wanted nothing more than to curl into a quiet corner and hide away from the red ink and the prying eyes. Mrs. Carter, their teacher, stood at the front of the room and noticed Alex's hunched shoulders and downcast gaze. She gently announced, "Don't worry if you struggled. We all learn at our own pace. We'll have a chance to review and retake the test next week. Remember, mistakes are just signs of where we can grow." Her words wrapped around Alex like a warm blanket, offering a glimmer of hope. That evening, Alex carried the test home, hiding it at the bottom of their backpack. Over dinner, their parents asked how school had gone. Alex hesitated, then placed the crumpled test paper on the table. Instead of scolding, Alex's mother looked thoughtfully at the test and said, "Everyone stumbles sometimes. What matters is what we do after." She showed Alex how to look at each incorrect problem, not as a failure, but as a clue. Where did things go wrong? What step was missing? Together, they circled mistakes and talked through them, not rushing, but treating each one as a new puzzle to solve. As the week passed, Alex felt determination replace dread. They approached each practice problem with curiosity instead of fear. Whenever a question felt impossible, Alex would pause, reflect, and try another way, hearing their teacher's voice in their mind. Mistakes are opportunities to grow. On the day of the retake, Alex felt nervous, but also different, steady, and ready to try again. The classroom felt brighter, the knot in their stomach smaller. This time, as problems slid across the page, Alex didn't freeze. Whenever they felt unsure, they took a breath and remembered what they'd learned from their mistakes. With each answer, confidence grew. A few days later, the graded retakes arrived. Alex's eyes widened in disbelief. A shining 86% beamed from the top of the page. The numbers seemed to dance, full of life and possibility. Alex smiled, not just because of the score, but because they knew exactly how hard they had worked to arrive there. The journey from the first test to the retake taught Alex something far more valuable than any grade. Learning, Alex realized, wasn't hidden in being perfect the first time. It wasn't about getting the highest score with no mistakes. Real learning lived in every moment they had dared to try again, asked questions, and reflected on their mistakes. Each correction was a stepping stone, each reflection a building block. As Mrs. Carter handed back the papers, she looked at the class and spoke. "Growth isn't about never failing, it's about never giving up. Each of you has the power to get better at anything if you put in effort and embrace your mistakes as your teachers." The words settled warmly in the classroom. For Alex, every challenge after that, whether it was a tough math problem, a confusing science experiment, or a new soccer drill, became an opportunity to practice a new way of thinking. Whenever something felt hard, Alex would pause and say, "I don't get this. Yet." The word "yet" became a magic bridge from confusion to understanding. Alex shared this approach with friends. When a classmate struggled with reading aloud, Alex encouraged them to try one sentence at a time and praised their progress. When another friend stumbled in art class, lamenting that they weren't talented, Alex reminded them that even great artists start with practice and patience. Over time, a ripple began in the classroom. More students started to take their mistakes in stride. They asked more questions instead of hiding their uncertainty. Test retakes became moments for growth rather than shame. Bit by bit, an atmosphere blossomed where effort mattered more than instant success. One day, as the class worked on a challenging project, Alex saw students collaborating, sharing strategies, and cheering each other on. A friend looked up and said, "I used to think I just couldn't do this, but now I know I can get better if I keep trying, like you did with your math test." The lesson Alex had learned shimmered everywhere. Effort mattered, and struggles were simply paths to greater understanding. Each mistake invited reflection, and each challenge was a chance to become a little braver, a little wiser. In time, Alex's story became a legend of sorts at school, not because of a high test score, but because it sparked a community of curious, determined learners. Mrs. Carter often nodded knowingly when a new student faced their first setback, saying, "Remember Alex's journey?" And the story would be passed along, a reminder that growth, perseverance, and reflection could turn every stumble into a new stride forward. The story of the test retake echoes far beyond that classroom. It is a beacon for students everywhere. Learning grows through effort. When we reflect, when we try again, and when we refuse to let mistakes define us, we open the door to limitless growth. The power to improve, to understand, and to become our best selves lies within each of us, just waiting for the moment we decide to try and try again. Thank you for watching this episode of Mind Awakening TV. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an awakening moment. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and let's continue the conversation. Stay curious and keep expanding your mind.